Alright, so first I'm going to briefly explain the difference between classical and operant conditioning. Classical conditioning is when we learn by associating two stimuli together. It involves an unconditioned stimuli, or US, which naturally causes a response called the unconditioned response, or UR. Then a neutral stimulus gets paired with that, and over time it becomes a conditioned stimulus, or CS, that produces a conditioned response, or CR. Now, operant conditioning is different because it's about learning through consequences. This uses the SRO model. The stimulus, or SD, is the situation. The response is the behavior, standing for R. And the outcome, O, is what follows like a reward or a punishment. Positive or negative reinforcement. That outcome determines whether the behavior increases or decreases. The biggest difference is that classical conditioning is about automatic responses from associations, while operant conditioning is about voluntary behavior shaped by consequences. And if you really wanted to simplify it down, classical equals association, operant equals consequences. Now, we're going to watch two different video clips, and we're going to figure out what type of conditioning it is, and then identify all the parts.
Oh, damn, that's another file. Gonna have to reboot again. Hey, Dwight, do you want an Altoid?
What do you think?
In school, we learned about this scientist who trained dogs to salivate at the sound of a bell by feeding them whenever a bell rang. So for the past couple weeks, I've been conducting a similar experiment.
Dwight, want an Altoid?
Okay.
Altoid?
Sure.
And Dwight?
Input? Yes.
What are you doing? What?
I don't know. Well, my mouth tastes so bad all of a sudden.
Blah.
So, what conditioning did we just watch? If you guessed classical conditioning, you would be right. Now, why is it classical instead of operant? Jim here is repeatedly pairing a sound from his computer with giving Dwight a mint. Because of that, Dwight starts to associate the sound with the mint. There's that key word again. At the beginning, the mint is the unconditioned stimulus because it naturally causes a reaction. Dwight's natural reaction, like wanting the mint or having a bad taste in his mouth, is the unconditioned response. The computer sound starts as a neutral stimulus because it doesn't cause any reaction at first. But after repeated pairings, that sound becomes the conditioned stimulus because it now triggers a response on its own. And Dwight's reaction to that sound, like expecting a mint or having a bad taste in his mouth, becomes the conditioned response. So this is classical conditioning because a neutral stimulus was paired with an unconditioned stimulus until it created a learned automatic response. Alright, so now that we've seen an example of classical conditioning, let's look at the second video and figure out what type of conditioning this one is.
Well, thank you. How thoughtful. Would you like a chocolate?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Oh, sorry, Sheldon. I almost sat in your spot.
Did you? I didn't notice. Have a chocolate.
Thank you. Oh, am I talking too much? I'm sorry. Zip.
Thank you. Chocolate?
Yes, please. Oh, Yeah, you know what? Hold on. Let me take this in the hall. You'll never guess who they got to replace you at work.
Okay. I know what you're doing.
Really?
Yes. You're using chocolates as positive reinforcement for what you consider correct behavior.
Very good. Chocolate?
Now, did you guess operant? If so, you're right. Now, let's break it down. In this clip, Sheldon is trying to change Penny's behavior by giving her chocolate when she does something he approves of. We can break this down using the SRO model. The S, or the stimulus, is Sheldon watching Penny. The R, or the response, is Penny following Sheldon rules or correcting her behavior, like moving out of his chair. Now, the outcome, or O, is Sheldon giving her chocolate. Because the chocolate is added after the behavior to increase it, this is positive reinforcement. So, by comparing these two examples, we can see how behavior can be learned either through association or shaped through reinforcement.